Good evening, everyone. Sagar sir will be joining shortly. Thank you. And then we'll start the meeting. Thank you.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, great. Uh, Hi Rachit.
Hi, sir.
Uh, and Do we have everyone here? Are we waiting on someone or can we start?
No, you can start, Sagar. Everyone is here.
Okay, great. Okay, hi guys. Sorry for being late. I was just trying to fix some internet issues. Hi, good evening. I hope all of you are doing well. I know asking you guys to switch on your cameras a little too much, but whoever can, I would love to do that because it's always nice to talk to faces than names. So whoever can switch on your cameras, please do. And I'll give you guys 1 minute if anybody wants to switch on the camera. Uh, thanks Abir, thanks Soham, thanks Nandini, thanks. Hi Nick,
Hi,
thanks.
Sagar.
Okay, all right, let's start. So hi guys, my name is Sagar. I will be serving as the head of press for PCGT this year, as I have served for PCGT for the past 2 years. Always love coming back to PCGT and serving as the head of press. Super glad to see all of you here. Excited to serve as the head of press and probably help you guys take something away from this academic simulation. Before we can start, it'd be great if I can, like, every time I do this, like I do youth parliaments or MUNs for that matter, I like to know the people I'm working with. So if like a small introduction, like a 1 minute thing of what you guys are doing and why you here, like why did you join the press? That would be great. So I'll start with a familiar face. Nick, hi. Can you start?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Sagar. So I think this is like come a full circle because the very first youth parliament that I did participate in was last year's edition of PCGT NYP. And yeah, since then I've participated in a couple of them, and I'm back here because it's given me the confidence to go ahead and continually produce articles, may it be news articles or otherwise on different topics. I now run a legal blog called Unlock. I am a law student. So yeah, the reason why I'm here is because of that, because there has been an immense amount of take back that I've received. And if I can, give back in any way to this conference as a delegate, I'd love nothing more.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks for that. Can you like introduce like what do you do right now? You said you're a law student. Where do you study and all of that, so that
Sure.
everyone can know.
So I'm a second year law student at the University of Mumbai Law Academy, and I'm doing an integrated course between business administration and law. So, and it's an honors course, so we've got like 66 subjects over the course of all of these years, so it's really hectic. But yeah, we're having as much fun as we can with online lectures. So
Glad to hear that somebody is trying to enjoy online lectures. I think most of you guys have given up, but yeah, we'll start. We'll go ahead with Abir. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, this is Abir Tiwari. I'm a second year BLLB student from Balaji Law College, Pune. basically, but I live in Bilaspur. So essentially, why I came across as press was because, as Nick very correctly said, that law students and I work with various organizations for writing blogs and articles as well. So that's one thing. And I also have been associated PCGT for a long time, and I follow Sagar on Instagram as well. So I know his work and everything. So I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's give it a shot. So yes, that's why.
I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that, Abhi. Thank you. Thank you for that. So moving on, who wants to introduce themselves? Soham, can you go ahead?
Yeah. So hi, my name's Soham. So this is actually my first time being a part of PCGT. So I got referred through a friend of mine who's in the same college. Currently, I'm in the first year of my BAF degree, and I'm also planning on doing a CFA further down the line, like in my 15th grade or something, or maybe after that. And I was more into debates and months prior to this, and then through that, like we met a few friends, and then he recommended I join this year. So I was like, in lockdown I'm not really doing much, so I was like, might as well give it a shot, try and participate in an online event,
Right.
stuff like that.
Right. All right. Thanks, Om. Glad that you're here. Hope your association with PCGT grows from here, because I love coming back to PCGT, so I hope you do too. And yes, Nandini, since you are next on my screen, can we go with you?
Hi everyone, my name is Nandini Nigam and I'm pursuing Bachelor's in Management Studies from KPB Hinduja College of Commerce. And I have done MUNs before and I have been a part of international press, basically because I feel very empowered when I write, and writing has been my thing since a long time. So yeah, that is that. Thank you.
All right, Nandini, thank you for the introduction. There's a reporter press, but there's no name there. Can you introduce yourself?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello everyone, I'm Shali Kotnala and I'm pursuing BA Psychology honors from JCRC University, Jaipur. Okay, so I have applied for international press first of all because I love writing and I did not want to limit myself to just writing poems, stories and all that, but to a more professional writing too. And secondly, I find that MUNs are a great way to learn about things, about the current situations in the world, while also developing your personality, or just meeting new people, places and knowing their opinions, etc. So yeah.
Right. All right. I did not get your name. Could you?
Shali Kotnala.
Vaishali. Is it Vaishali?
Vishali.
Okay. Okay. Vrishali. Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. Vanilla, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, my name's Vanilla.
Vanilla.
I'm in class 11. I'm in Andhra Pradesh. I'm here because I need an MUN for my CV,
Okay.
I'm just,
Right.
but then I do like the international press. I do love writing. I love international press, but
Okay.
yeah, at this point I really need one because I don't want to stay here anymore. So I'm working my way out of there.
Okay. Good luck with that. I hope this helps. Yes, Kinjal.
I would like to begin by saying that my anxiety levels are through the roof because I'm in 12th standard and all of you are in college. And Sagar said that you are doing a job already. So there's no.
Thanks for making me feel very old, but yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is, I didn't want to begin a youth parliament without knowing how it works. So press was the only way to see how it works and then go into youth parliaments. And again, facility, I've heard a lot from my friends also last year participated. So yeah, and also, of course, writing, I like writing. And I would like to produce a balanced report. We don't get to see that, much of that. So I'd like to produce a balanced report from my side. I can see, I want to see what I can do in that area. So yeah, that's it.
All right, all right. Thank you for that. Is anybody left? Because I see a lot of reporter press. But if there's anybody who wants to introduce yourself, I can't see you, so I don't know if you're present. But if you want to, you can, unmute yourself and go ahead. All right, all right. It doesn't seem like. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Can the technical members and people who are part of PCGT also introduce yourself? Because if you're going to work with each other for 2 days, I would like everyone to, kind of know each other, because every time I kind of try to do this, I ensure like you guys take a few friends out of this conference, because that's also something, that's a part of Model UN on Youth Parliament, which is networking. So if you guys can introduce yourselves, that'd be great. Yes.
Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Palak Goyal. I'm here as a deputy and I'm currently in first year studying BMM from Jahan College, Mumbai.
All right, Palak, looking forward to working with you. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much.
And yes, Rachit.
Hi guys, I'm Rachit Shah. I'm currently studying engineering right now from Thakur College. I'm in my third year right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm a part of PCGT this year, and I'll be your technical member. So if you need any help technically or any sort of ways, you can DM me. Okay, thank you.
Hello guys, my name is Nisha and I'm a 5th year law student from Praveen Gandhi College of Law, Mumbai. I've started my journey, the Youth Parliament journey from PCGT, and I'm serving as the press tech member here. So yeah, as Rachit said, if there's any help you need from us, please let us know. So yeah, and have good 2 days of the journey.
All right. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for introducing yourself. I realize that I haven't given an introduction to myself, so I'll do that right now. You know my name, so what I essentially do right now is that I run two ventures. One is a social venture which is called Chitta, and that essentially connects mental health professionals to Indian students. We try and bridge the gap between the mental health services or the healthcare that exists, and making it more accessible to Indian students. So that's what we do. And we have been functioning for over a year now, and we've impacted over 1,300 students, sponsored 80 therapy sessions. So I'm doing this. This is not a plug-in, like this is again a non-profit organization, but since all of you are students, if you ever have people around you or you yourself want to reach out to help, feel free to do so with us. Our Instagram handle is Chitta, CITTA India. And I also have another startup, which is where I intend on making money. It's called Mocha, and that essentially tries to upskill or run cohorts that try to upskill highly motivated individuals and try to accelerate their professional growth. And that's something that I'm currently doing, and that's quite new. And today is a good day for us because we sold out our first cohort. So exciting times ahead for me with both my ventures. But yeah, but if you've seen like a trend, Indian students is a target audience that I love working with, because all of us are young. I don't want to exclude myself because I'm young too. But we are young, and we are also the next generation. And if India needs to reap its demographic dividends, it's all of us who need to kind of make the change and step up. And I'm just trying to do my best to help you guys with all the resources that you can get in terms of mental health or in terms of education for that matter. So that's what I do. And I will look forward to kind of introducing both my ventures while we talk during the 2 days, but that's not why we are here. But I'm glad I got to know all of you better. And I've seen like a trend of all of you you like writing, and that's something that you're looking to upskill. And I treat MUNs and youth parliaments as proper academic simulations where all of you are supposed to take away something the minute. So you come for 2 days, but I want to try and ensure that in those 2 days, you take away something and you're able to learn at least one or two concepts. Even if you learn one or two concepts from this youth parliament, that's job well done for me. So That's what I'm going to be, I'll be aiming at. And a few of you have experience in writing articles. Like I've seen Nick, Abir, all of you work for different, journalistic institutions, or like do your own thing as well. But for the ones who are new to writing, first off, welcome. Like I am very glad that you've taken the first step towards writing or writing professionally, because I think that's a skill all of us can use regardless of which profession we are going to, because the skill of articulating and structuring your own thoughts, ideas, and problems is a rare skill, and is a skill, take it from somebody who's trying to upskill Indian students, it is a skill that companies highly require. So anyone who's going to go ahead, apply for universities abroad, or apply for jobs, writing is a skill that will always help you get places. So I hope we are able to kind of help you write better, and in the meanwhile also try and understand how do you write a press report, how do you try to be I don't like the word unbiased, because I always feel there is always a bias in every report that we write. But how do you, even acknowledging that bias, how do you stay generous to the other side? I feel good journalism is always about being generous to the other side, ensuring that you're doing your best to bring out the other side as well, regardless of the bias that exists, that you, because humans are inherently biased. All of us have some biases that we carry with us, but even with those biases, how do you as reporters ensure that how do you ensure that you are taking the other side, talking to them and understanding the other side, and bringing that into your article? I will share a few videos with you about journalism from my favorite journalist. His name is Johnny Harris. I don't know if you all of you follow him. He used to work at Vox, and now he does his own thing. I'll share a few videos of his take on journalism, because it kind of resonates with my take on journalism as well. I'll do that on the WhatsApp group, so you can try and understand how do you be a good journalist. Because if you've come to this academic simulation, you have to like pretend to be a journalist for 2 days, even if that's not what you want to do after those 2 days. But in these 2 days, how do you kind of role play and kind of step into the role of being a journalist? That's what we're going to try and do. Palak, have we kind of given the guide to them? Has everyone received the guide? They haven't. Shreya got in touch with me. I don't know if you guys have received the guide or not. There's one that I shared last year, and I want to kind of forward that this year as well, because there isn't many changes to the the kind of way I want to conduct this simulation. So I will share that with you on your WhatsApp group. I'm a little surprised that it wasn't shared, because I was like Shreya got in touch with me. Can you, Pala, can you check that once and like share it with them whenever you guys can?
Yeah, I'll just check with her.
Great. All right. Okay. So before we start, I want to know how many are new to writing.
Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, hi. But so in the WhatsApp group, in the group description, there's a link to a Drive resource folder, which has a press subfolder.
Yes. So, great. So you guys can go have a look at that. How many of you are new to writing? Like how many of you are doing this maybe for the first, second time, writing on a professional basis, for that matter? How many are all of you like, okay, I see one hand, but I don't, okay, I see 2 hands, 3 hands. Okay, 3, 4 of you. I don't know why my screen is shifting again and again. It's difficult to keep track. But okay, all right. So what we're going to do right now is for people for whom this is the first time at an MUN or a youth parliament, I'll try and run you through how this simulation works. So essentially, what happens is like if there are Rachit, can you tell me all the committees that are being simulated this year? Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha,
MLA.
MLA.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah,
So
that's
there
it.
are
And
three
press.
committees, right?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So since we have three committees, what we're going to do is what delegates are going to come and do here are essentially play the portfolios of the ministers that they've been allotted and try to, for all the agendas that have come up, they're going to try and discuss those agendas. And your responsibility as reporters are to report the 2 days of proceedings. And every day we will have one report. So the day you will have a report on day 1 and you will have a report on day 2. We have a surplus of reporters and for 3 committees. So few of you will be in like 2 of you or 3 of you will be in one committee. Rachit, what is the final count of reporters?
Shreya, do you have it? I guess Shreya there.
Shreya is not here.
Bianca, do you have it?
Yes, Sagar, I'll give it to you in a minute.
Great. Okay. So what we're going to do essentially is, how many of you are new to MUNs? I understood writing. How many of you are new to MUNs? I saw Soham is new to MUN. Kinjal is new to MUN.
I said I took part in MUNs.
Okay. You have taken part in MUNs. Youth parliaments is something that you're new with.
Yeah, I'm new to youth parliaments. Yes.
Great. Okay. So Kinjal is new. Who else? I know Nek has done. I know Abir has done. Okay, there are 2 hands with reporters and press, but I don't know their names. Okay, so there are guys. It's okay if you don't want to introduce yourself. Can you just like change your names, like so that I don't have to say reporter press? It gets a little confusing. But yeah, okay. So there are a few people who are new to MUNs and youth parliaments as well. So what we're going to, I won't run you through like a whole thing of what MUNs and youth parliaments are. They're complex concepts, but they're essentially academic simulations where people come, they discuss according to the portfolios that they've been allotted. Now these portfolios could be like, if I allot Soham a portfolio of say the home minister of the country, say if he is Amit Shah, then he has to defend everything that the Bharatiya Janata Party says or everything that Amit Shah stands for. So that is Soham's responsibility regardless of his political leanings. Okay, so he has to properly defend what Amit Shah said and the Bharatiya Janata Party in its extension and the government stance as well. Like, I apologize, I don't think he has to more so represent the Bharatiya Janata Party in a professional setting. He has to represent the government, and since he's the home minister, he might have to do that. So that is something that that is essentially what a youth parliament, the concept of a youth parliament, and an MUN, its countries and representative of countries and so on. So what I would like you to do is, now you have 3 days for your MUNs. So I would like all of you to kind of go through the agendas. I don't know if you guys already have. If you haven't, go through the agendas. I think you will have access to the study guides as well. Go through the study guides. Tell me what interests you. Like if there are concepts or there are agendas that really interest you, put it on the group that, hey, I'm interested to go into Lok Sabha, I'm interested to go into Rajya Sabha, and I'll try and best allot you guys in those committees. We will at least minimum require 1 reporter in each committee. But since that shouldn't be an issue because there are 12 reporters is what Bianca told me. So that shouldn't be an issue. But so whatever you guys are interested in, because at the end of the day, I want you guys to learn from it. So whatever agendas you are interested in, just let me know and I'll put you in those committees. I would ideally like at least 2 members in each committee if that's possible. But if it's not, I don't think we'll have such a lopsided wala thing where everybody likes only one agenda, unless the agendas are that great. But I hope we can have like a distributed set. If there are 12, ideally we should have like 4 reporters in each committee, if there are 3 committees. And so go through the agendas, go through them. Like I don't want you to be an expert overnight, but anything that, you know, mildly intrigues you, read up on it apart from the study guide as well, so that you get educated on that. So if you're interested, then by extension, you would like to know more, right? So don't just stick to the study guide. Maybe research a little bit, learn a little bit more about the agenda, because what that does is so you're essentially doing a little homework before you come to write reports. I think writing becomes easier when you have a lot of information in hand. Now, Also, I'll get to the part where I'll inform you guys about what you need to write. But having a general idea about what the agenda is will always help you. Like a few of you here are here to win, and there is a prize, money, and an incentive attached. But I, as a member, will not focus on that. I will not focus on winning. I will focus on learning. Like if winning is a byproduct of you coming up with superior reports, great, congratulations. But for all of you, I'm going to focus on trying and ensure that all the 12 of you have come, at least take something out of it. So research, I would like all of you to research on the agenda that you're interested in and let me know by the 9th of April that actually not, if you're informing me on the 9th of April, try and inform me maybe in the afternoon or in the morning so that I can come up with allotments and say, these are the members who are going to this committee, these are the members going to this committee. So I have a fair idea of what's going to happen there. Okay. So once that happens, once you have a fair idea of what the agenda is, you will have to sit in committee and understand what is happening and, start taking notes. You're not going to write the report in committee. In committee, all you're going to do is have a notebook or have your laptop and voraciously start noting down things that are happening in committee. What you will report in your article will purely be based on what is being discussed. So it won't be external information that you will get from articles, but it has to be what is being discussed in the mock simulation. So be very mindful about that. So you have to only discuss those things. And essentially every article should have a story. It should be a story, should have a start, should have a middle, and should have an end. I think there are a lot of people who struggle, especially people who are new to writing, struggle with the start and, then lose it in the middle and then don't know how to end. So if that is something that you struggle with, I think reading up a little bit on the agenda will help you know what are the aspects that are important. So whenever something is being discussed in committee, you will have an information overload because there's so much information that's being discussed. Like how do you filter out what is important and what is not? That can only be done if you already know or already have a fair idea about the agenda. So once you have a fair idea about the agenda, then you yourself will be able to filter out, okay, this is important, this is not, this is important, this is not. So the report that you come up with will be more concise, will be something that will stick to the points, won't digress too much. So you need to focus on that. Like the story needs to be told without unnecessary details. So whenever you come up with your first draft, always assume your first draft is going to be bad. Okay. Start with the assumption or the acknowledgement that your first draft is going to be a bad, because I have seen a lot of writers who don't start writing because they know that, oh no, this is going to be terrible before they started. So I would like you to acknowledge that your first draft is going to be extremely bad. Okay. Once you have gotten that out of the way, writing becomes easier. Then you can write absolute gibberish and you'll be like, okay, we already knew that the first draft was going to be bad. So then we try and help. So the first day in my, like how I conduct this is the first day is restricted to learning, is restricted to helping you guys out. How do you write articles whenever you guys get stuck? So we will be essentially writing reports together. Okay. So if Kinjal has problems, I will address those problems in detail. If Soham has problems, I'll address those problems in details. So the first day will only be reserved for learning of how do you write an article, and the day two becomes slightly more competitive in the sense that day two you will submit your article and I won't have time to give you feedback. That will essentially more or less be the article that you submit and the article that will be judged. Of course, your day one article will also be judged, but the weightage for the day one article won't be as high as day two. So all of you have to focus on being better on day two than day one, because that's growth, right? If your day two article is much better than day one, that means you've learned something out of it. So that is what, again, I'm going to reiterate the fact of learning, because when you guys come to the simulation, I want you to come with the fact that you're going to learn something here and you're not coming here for the prize money. Because what happens often is like people come here if they get disappointed on the day one that, hey, nothing's going to come out of this, so I might just drop out because I'm not going to win. So, which is why I'm saying day one's weightage is extremely low. Doesn't matter what you do on day one. It's what matters is what you do on day two, because day one is reserved for learning for everyone. So you still have time to catch up on day two if you think your article was not satisfactory on day one. Okay, I hope that is clear. And when it comes to the nitty-gritties of writing, I think that would much rather be covered on day one itself than right now, because when you have the article in front of you, when you have the information in front of you, I'll be able to help you much better. Like right now, whatever I'll tell you will seem like a lecture, so I don't want to do that. Whenever you have information with you and you want to kind of collate that and make it into an article, I'll be there to help you out. So I'll give you, so if you come earlier, if you think you have enough for the day, if you think there is nothing substantial happening in committee after a point, you can come back to the press room and you can start writing your report. Whenever there are breaks and in the committee and you think you can start working on your report, start working on your report, because the more you come back to the press room, the more time you will get with me and I'll be able to work with you on day one. So whenever you feel that the committee has gone on break and you have the mental capacity to start working on the article, come to the press room, we'll start working on it together and I'll help you out with whatever you need there. Okay. And go through the guide once. I think it has a sample article as well by previous year's deputy of press, which was Manaksh. He had written an article in his, that was, I think, that was 2019's PCGT edition article that Manaksh wrote. So there's an article there. That sample article will try and help you out with how do you write a story, because I think he's good with that. He's good with, creating stories, especially when it comes to writing. So focus on the story, that you need to tell a story, you need to engage the audience, and how do you come up with titles that, I always like humor. If you can bring in subtle humor, not too explicit, but subtle humor here and there is always welcome, especially in the start or in the end, because it really, really engages the user or leaves them with a good taste when they end the article. I think Nick here does a brilliant job as well. Like he was there last year and he learned a lot. I think, so I think all of you should capitalize on this opportunity and try and see if it helps you with writing. And I'll be more than willing to answer any queries you have right now. So yeah, open to questions right now.
I wanted to ask a quick question. You said there's 3 committees, right? So during sign-up process, they said one committee was only Marathi only or something like that.
MLA.
Which
MLA.
committee was that?
MLA, Maharashtra Legislative Assembly.
Okay. So if I get allotted, can I avoid that committee? Because out of all the skills I have, the one skill I don't is I don't know how to speak Marathi.
That's okay. That's okay. We won't. Do we have Maharashtrians here? Do we have any Maharashtrians or people who understand Marathi? I mean, if it's not the case, then there's no point in forcing you guys into the MLA, which I won't do. I won't force people who don't understand Marathi into MLA. Don't worry. We'll figure something out for that. IP reporter says UP se hoon. Okay, ma'am. Or sir, or whoever. Okay. I think there's a party going on in the chat, but great. Anyway. All right. So any other doubts? Nandini, Nick, Abir, Kinjal, Tanishka.
Yeah, hi. Will we have a press conference this time?
Again, really depending on I don't see how it works in a virtual conference, but I'll get back to you on that once I consult the secretariat and see if they are interested in having a press conference. Last time they said they don't want a press conference, but if their stance changes this year, then we might do one. So Palak, Rachit, if you guys can ask the secretariat if they want to do a press conference, then that would be great. So if we are doing press conference, then I'll use that as well. So, but that can be done on day one. So day one, essentially, yes. Okay, one second. I have 2 questions here. I'm sorry, you have to get it, but how many articles are we supposed to submit? 2 articles, day 1, day 2, more weightage on day 2 than day 1, because day 1 is for learning. Day 2 is for, is the competition, if I may. Are the only articles that are to be submit summary reports? Well, yes, as of now, yes, we are looking at proceedings of the day, and the time limit remains the same. Word limit, yes, word limit remains the same, Abhi. And but thank you. Time limit, when it comes to time, I like remains the same as I think I have. It's on the guide. Like if you guys read the guide, I have given you word count, I have given you font size, I've given you everything there, so you guys can go. I'm not going to tell you that because so that you guys are forced to go back to the guide and read it, because I think you guys, all of you should. No problem, no problem. Which reminds me of the time limit. Day one is a little relaxed. You guys can submit the articles by 6-7 p.m. But day two, there might be a slight score on promptness of submitting the article as well, because simply because I get more time to read it, process it, and judge it well. Because if you give it to me too late into the whole thing, I'll have to read the itinerary once, and I'll get back to you with exact deadlines that I can give you. But day one, I wouldn't worry too much about the deadlines. I will give you actually the whole night to work on the articles if you want, because I'm very flexible on day one. As I say, day one articles don't really matter because I want you to learn on day one. Okay. So day two is okay. Also, we can do the press conferences, what they're saying. So day one, we will see. Day one, what we're going to do is we're going to observe how the committees are make, and if the committees are doing well and seems like we can conduct a press, because press conference usually happens on day two. So we as a collective unit will take a call on whether we want to do a press conference, whether you guys want to do a press conference. And if you guys do want to do a press conference, I'll brief people who aren't aware of how press conferences are conducted in youth parliaments, and we can go ahead with that. Sounds good? Okay, great. Are opinions allowed at all, or analysis? See, there are op-ed articles that are usually written in youth parliaments when they're 3-day long or 2-day long, and they're conducted offline. But how about we circle back on this on day one? Okay, if a lot of you want to write op-eds as well, we can try and create some provision for that. But day one has to be summary report, and day two can be an op-ed based on preferences. But I will confirm that on day one only, depending on the kind of interest we see in op-eds. If we do see interest, then we can kind of create a because essentially I want, if they're op-eds, then they need to be like backed with logic, and they need to be very which I don't think you can do, especially when it's only a 2-day conference. I don't know if you guys have attended youth parliaments, but a lot of them don't have a lot of logic, because and that isn't the fault of the conference itself. The delegates might be unprepared, might have not read too much, so it becomes very difficult to be opinionated on things that are not logically backed by evidence or things like that. But we will circle back on the op-eds on day two, and we'll see if that's possible. Otherwise, for now, it's summary reports that remain, and op-eds also become difficult to kind of judge, especially when people are, some people are submitting summary reports, some people are submitting op-eds. It becomes difficult from a perspective of judging it as well. So I'll get back to you on that on day one. And as I said, I have a feeling most of your articles will inherently have a bias. It might not be very evident, but it will have a bias. But as I said, always try to be generous to the other side. Here I am actually quoting Johnny Harris. He's a great journalist, and since I am not a journalist myself, I always look up to journalists who I think are doing great work in whatever they plan on doing. Do you prefer biased articles? I absolutely do not. I do not prefer biased articles, but I'm just acknowledging that all of your articles are going to be biased. And you don't know my political leaning, so how will you know? Are you comfortable with disclosing your evaluation criteria? Absolutely. I'm very transparent with my evaluation criteria. Last time I also give you guys your score sheets, but I will not do that today. I will do that on day two. Because day one is left for learning. Day two, if you want, I will disclose my evaluation criteria, and I will be giving you your score sheets at the end of the conference as well, because PCGT stands for transparency, and so do I. So I'll give you the score sheet then. Is the background guide already circulated? It's in the description, Soumya, of the group. No problem. By the way, by summary, do you mean we have to write all the topics agendas discussed, or only the ones we feel are worthy enough? Okay. By summary, I mean summary of the proceedings of the day. Whatever. So if day one the committee decides to talk on a certain agenda, then that agenda. So you will have to sit again. Reporter press. Can I have a name here so that I am able to address you by name, because it's
it is Vishali.
What is it?
Vishali.
Vishali.
Vishali, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Vishali, what essentially happens here is that so you will have to sit in committee. Okay. When you sit in committee, there will be other students who will be allotted portfolios, and they'll be discussing the agenda that they choose on that particular day, and you will be writing down notes on what they're talking about. And once you do that, you will come back to the press room and create a report based on what they talked about on day one. So when I mean summary, I don't mean a summary of, say, the agenda per se, or like the study guide or things like that, but you have to actually sit in the conference, observe these professionals, these delegates, and then kind of jot down everything. And I would highly recommend all of you have a notepad with you, because it gets difficult unless you have like God level typing speed. I think all of you should have pen and paper with you to kind of jot down things, especially if you're looking at this from a very competitive zone. So I think jotting down things always help. So what you can do is jot down things, come back to me, discuss it with me that this is what happened in committee. I'll ask you, what do you think was important? And we'll kind of work on the report together. So if you have notes with you, I will be able to help you better. So that's that. I've seen, okay, doubt. What if the report has been written as per the deadline with respect to day 2? However, the committee gets interesting, I'd like to call it masaledar after the submission. That's completely fine, Abhi, because I am purely judging you on the basis of what you have written. And even if the report doesn't include that, that's completely okay, because I will be very objective with the way I mark you. So even if you don't include that, because I know you had come back, so I won't kind of take that. I won't take that against you. Yeah. Can op-eds be curated for both days if the reporter feels comfortable doing so? And considering that some of us might be old enough to have, okay, some inherent bias in reports will not be frowned upon. Yes. Where do you draw the line when it comes to political preference and critical thinking? Good question, IP reporter. If a reporter feels comfortable doing so, no. If the entire press unit feels that op-ed should be allowed or is something that we should do, then I will allow it, and I will try to come up with an evaluation criteria for that. But I would want everybody in the press to agree, because I don't want anybody to ever feel that, if somebody is writing op-ed, it's going to be biased or so anybody who's new to this and feels like they're not comfortable with op-eds right now, then I'll not include that because it'll be unfair to them. And when it comes to, so inherent biases in reports won't be frowned upon unless they are extremely explicit. Like if you are, I mean, it's not even a thin line, it's very wide line. Like, when you are being extremely biased, or you're not being fair to the other side. If I can see that, then that's not good journalism. As long as I can see that there are whoever is on the other side is being generous to both sides, though they have a leaning towards one side, which is quite evident. If that is invisible, that's the keyword here. If it's invisible, only people who observe the article really well will kind of understand, okay, there is a bias to this, or this report is biased towards one side, then I think that is good journalism, when you are being fair to both sides. So it won't be frowned upon, but I would like it to be as invisible as possible. So if that makes sense, if you want me to elaborate or clarify, I would be happy to do so. IP reporter, could you just briefly touch upon the concept of press reports and statements, and how do you do them? Of course, Kinjal, I will do that. That's my job. So when it comes to press reports, so what I'll do is I will not intimidate you with what it is, the exact details. I will give you an overview. When you come on day one, we will work together and kind of figure out how do we have to write the whole article. But essentially, it's just an article based on what you're observing. It's like you're sitting in a seat, you're observing 20 or 30 people talking, you are writing that down, and then you're coming to the press report and kind of figuring out a story. Ki aaj kya hua? Is this what happened today? Okay, these are the important things that happened today, and these are not important. How do you filter out again what's important, what's not important? If you have knowledge about the agenda, if you know what the agenda or what they're talking about, then you will be able to easily filter out what needs to be included in the report and what doesn't need to be included in the report. And how does a sample report look? I would suggest you go back to the guide and read how it looks like. But again, I would say that don't be intimidated by it. It's not that difficult. Just have to jot down what happens during the day and come back to the press room, and we will do it together. Again, I'm saying we'll do it together, so you won't be alone in kind of figuring out what needs to be done. Just ensure that you have a base in kind of the agenda that you're going for, and you are noting down important things that are happening in the committee. You will know, once you sit in committee, it will be very organically evident to you that there are a few people who are important here, a few people who are prominent, who are talking, bringing in good points, are talking sense, and they are essentially driving the committee. So there'll be a few drivers of the committee. So if you identify those drivers, then sourcing important information won't be difficult. So once you, again, me telling you this right now won't make sense if you haven't sat in a committee before, but when you do, you will kind of figure that out soon, and you will understand, okay, these people are driving the committee, I need to focus on them. But at the same time, if there are other people who are like, even if they're talking once or twice, but they're making a lot of sense, give them that chance as well. Like if you think it is making sense and they are also driving the committee in some small ways, do that as well. Okay. Does that answer your question, Kinjal, or should I elaborate?
Yeah, sure. And also I've done MUNs actually. Parliament is my first time.
Right. I'm just talking in a general perspective, like for everyone who is here and who might have the same question. Thank you for that question, Kinjal. Considering the fact that diplomacy is the art of saying, okay, there are too many questions. Let me see if I'm covering on. Okay. Considering the fact that diplomacy is the art of saying nice doggy until you find a stick, can we keep the article diplomatic and stuff, especially when it comes to Lok Sabha? Absolutely. Like when it comes to the tone, I really leave it upon the reporter of how they want to kind of report. Like I will be looking at more of the way you are presenting your information, the structure, the delivery, all of that is what I'll be purely focusing on. Of course, there will be certain evaluation that will be done based upon whatever that you're presenting, and if there are biases. But if you want to keep the article diplomatic, absolutely, please go ahead. That's like always welcome. So you can always do that. But nice way of writing a question, Abir. Like I like that. Okay. When you mention the press con, there's also a question that will be conducted by both houses. In all likelihood, most of our questions will coincide with those asked in QR. What is the premise of conducting a press con? A press con isn't allowed in the houses either in reality. Absolutely. You're right, IP reporter. They aren't. But I treat, again, as I said, I treat youth parliaments and MUNs as academic simulations, and I might bend the rules here and there if I feel the students are going to benefit out of, talking to people. I see a lot of people are here to kind of who haven't done MUNs or delegated an MUNs before. So if they have a fear of public speaking, want to kind of go explore that, I would love to give them the chance to do so and ask like important questions. But your question is valid. I haven't decided on whether we're going to have a press conference. I will have a conversation with the secretariat again, and I will get back to you on that. But thank you for that question. Okay. Sometimes our report are also affected by the committee participation. That is, the government could be dominating the debate or the opposition could be overpowering. In what way? Would that be factored in the scenario that happens? If that's happening, if that's an actual thing that's happening in committee, I would love if you could report that, because that's what we are looking for, right? Like if the government is dominating a debate or is dominating the whole direction of the committee, then you need to say that you need to kind of highlight that fact and say that this is what was happening in committee. So I think when it comes to like I didn't understand the question though. Would that be factored in if the scenario if that happens? So if that really happened, so I would like you to report the facts exactly the way they were. Like I don't want you to say that if the government dominated the debate, but if the opposition had one good point out of the 20 good points that the government had, then you can just highlight that one good point that the other side had. But you can also say that the government was completely dominated the debate and did that, because at the end of the day, you are submitting the summary of the proceedings that happened on that day. So I think that I hope that answers your questions. If not, you can tell me to elaborate and I will try and do that. All committees will take, okay, one second. There are too many questions. Okay. All committees will take place in English except MLA. Yes, because the last time I was in a youth parliament, they launched into Hindi and it became a little difficult to follow. I'm a little worried because PCGT NYP 21 is based in Mumbai, I believe. It is based in Mumbai. And if I am not wrong, please, Secretariat, correct me if I'm right. The primary mode of instruction here is English, but a few of them do kind of feel like they are better public speakers in Hindi, or like, like the way they deliver speeches in Hindi. If there is any difficulty with that, don't be worried, because you will have like multiple press reporters in the same committee. So if at any time you feel you're not able to follow something, just reach out to the press member in the committee and ask them, can you kind of guide me through what the delegate talked about? So I don't think that'd be an issue, because you won't be alone in committee. I hope that answers your question, Mahela. Will reporters be allowed to remain present in the question hour? I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's how we do it. So nope. I think the answer is no. Would we have the creative? Of course, like whoever is asking me if they would have creative agency in the terms of the format and the structure of report, absolutely. I would like everybody, all of you, to find your own way of writing. There'll be there won't be a lot of rules of what needs to be done, as long as you are able to tell a story effectively. I am okay with any format. I would actually encourage different kinds of format, because if that's what you want to do here, I'd be happy to entertain that. So I hope that answers your question. Can we write a bit of Hindi in the report, like to frame an analogy and then connect it with things that are happening in committee? Would you see that in a normal press report, like, or in an article, is my point? Or so if like somebody made a very impactful statement in committee in Hindi, and that's something that you want to quote in Hindi, I think that is something you can go ahead and do, as long as you're providing a translation, because at the end of the day, if this is going to be kind of, say, published in a paper, or like in a newsletter whose primary instruction language is English, then you need to be fair to them and translate it to them if they don't understand Hindi. So as long as you're providing a translation to whatever you're saying, and like I would like you to limit it to the quotes of the parliamentarians, if that makes sense. But yeah, any more questions? I've seen a lot of questions come up. I'm really glad. I love answering questions. Okay, one more question up. Setting up context for the report in order to create a story. It won't be necessary to ensure that is something verbatim taken from committee. Depends on how long your context is. I would not, so if you're talking about background, as long as it isn't covering, as long as it's not covering a majority of your report, or like is not taking up too much lines from your word limit, it should be fine. But you can't exceed a certain limit. So you can set up the context, but ensure that it is concise and precise. I hope that answers your question, IP reporter. Any more questions? Okay. For anybody who couldn't follow anything that happened today, please raise your hands. Like, this is like the first time you're done any of this, and none of this, everything went bouncer because clearly the chief of press did not do a great job. Please raise your hands. I would love to stay with you at the end of the call and try and explain everything to you separately. But if that's not the case, if there are any specific doubts or any fears or anything that do any of you like do any of you have a fear of like not like when it comes to writing, are you here to kind of move away from your comfort zone and start writing? Is that the case for someone? Because then I would love to try and help you out with that, trying, because there are a lot of people who come to press to kind of get over the fear of writing and start writing articles, start writing cells, or for others for that matter. So if that's the case with anyone, people who are afraid of, even creating that first draft, as I said, all of your first drafts are going to be terrible. Be okay with that fact, acknowledge that, and move on. That my first draft is going to be terrible. So that's okay. That's not, and which is why I say day one is only for learning. Don't worry too much about the things that you write on day one. Day two is what you need to focus on, because we need to see growth. Okay, I don't see any further questions. One second. Are there any questions? Okay, I don't see any further questions. So Rachit, can we wrap this up? Or if any one of you want to like say your questions out loud, that would be great as well. Delivering lunch or anything, Rachit? Red Bull. I would like a Red Bull every day, so you can come home deliver it to me. Okay. Seeing that there are no more questions, I hope this session has been informative. I look forward to creating a space for all of you to learn and hopefully take something away on to. And yeah, I hope none of you like drop off on day one, because that means that I have kind of failed somewhere, or I haven't been useful. As we can. And day two is where things might get a little competitive, but I mean, that's the nature of the competition or the simulation, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. Keep your priority to learn something out of this, and I think we will all take away something, if not the prize money.